Welcome to the big update. Now, I tested the update in the beta, and I have to say, people will be amazed and surprised, but also kind of left in shock about the new update. So, it's good, but it's also bad. So, let's start with some of the good things, and then I'll give you my own impressions, and we'll play the game a little bit, since it's part of the Let's Play anyway. First of all, we have a new mechanic, Augmentations and Implants. Augmentations are basically body parts, or joints, or other stuff that you put in your clone, and then implants are stuff you implant in those augments. Meaning you can, for example, change your head for a cyborg head, and you can put an implant in that head. Yikes. There is also controller support and a full keyboard-only control mode, which means you can just play the game with only your keyboard, and you can also change your key bindings on the controller, which is something apparently people wanted for a long time. Also have a combat log, which was needed, but if you die you don't see the combat log anyway, so it doesn't really matter in my opinion. New locations, 4 new tile sets, 5 celestial bodies, 27 new stations. One of the new tile sets, it's a very reddish looking military landscape, but it's more or less the same thing because only the tile sets are new but not the objects in it. 5 celestial bodies and 27 new stations. When they say celestial bodies, they mean the locations in the universe, but you'll never go there anyway since they are too far away. It's basically the Jupiter stuff, and when they say station, for example, these are 5 stations. 2 new story missions, which will probably be very hard. We'll have to do them at some point, maybe. 4 new melee weapons. They're not so bad, but not so good either. 9 ranged ones. I think they are the sonic pistols, which do blunt damage, some of the other shock weapons, and some other stuff I saw. 1 hat, I cannot tell you which hat it is. 35 augments and 21 implants. So basically you have the basic cyborg that you can cut down for its parts, and that counts as, I think, about 5 or 6 augments. There's also a new war robot, which looks kind of like a miniature mech and has the how should I put it, the army robot parts, which are the ones you really want to use for upgrades. So don't use the rubberized mechs, rubberized androids, or just the normal androids. Use the one from the combat mech, from the combat robot. Yeah, he's pretty big. He looks like a demon, but he's fun. Action items in the barter. This is a bit of a... I guess it's very hard to explain what they mean by the factions in the barter. Okay, so let's try. So let's say you want to buy a faction item from someone. That means you have to look at all of their stations that want to trade with you. And then you have to hope that they have them. So as you can see, they produce those items over there and they record those items. So basically, to get a faction item, you need to go to the station, but you also need to give them what they want, and they need to have that item over there. It's pretty rare because, as you can see, depending on your game, anyway, it's such a low chance that you'll probably never see it, to be completely honest with you, because most of the time you'll be fighting, and most of the time you'll be up against a faction that doesn't like you, so that's going to be hard. A lot of bug fixes and balance changes. The balance changes are more or less related to how the wound system works. So the wound system is a pain in the... So basically no wounds will heal unless you use the pills that are specifically designed for it, and this is the problem. No wounds will heal naturally. Well, I guess some of them will heal naturally, because if you have a light wound, it will heal normally, but if you have a pierce or a cut wound, it will be 5% to close without a proper thingy. So you can no longer use the rags to heal, and even if you use the bandages, there's still a big chance you'll not be able to heal it. Plus, there are about 20 wounds types, which will all have some item required to heal it, and that's going to be very annoying. For example, I think I saw about 6 types of pills, and some of the other stuff is not so helpful. So pain is not that much of an issue right now, but closing those wounds is going to be a huge problem, which I hate. I don't know. Maybe they could have done it better. I'm pretty sure, because this is not Stone Shard. You cannot simply buy all of the medicine you want and go into the mission. No, you have to find it or barter for it, and barter is still pretty hard to get. Let's speak more of the augmentations and implants. I actually forgot to get some of the... Well, to be honest, I died a lot of times and I couldn't get more of them, but let me show you some of them. So for example, the manipulator. These are the free types you can find in the game. So you have the cyborg part, which is the basic one, which doesn't really do much, but it also can lower your range accuracy and some stuff, so you'll never want to implant the basic stuff. Then you have the rubberized ones, which are actually great because they might add accuracy, they might add dodge. Rubberized, just think of it as, I don't know, the synthetic humans from Aliens. So rubberized is the ones that will give you the bonuses. This stuff will mostly help you with melee, and some of them will give you health, but they'll decrease your attack range and some other stuff, so don't use that. The rubberized ones, yes, they're good, but they also decrease your maximum health, and winning chance will be increased sometimes, so basically you become softer, but you're better in combat. The frame, as you can see, lowers some of the resistances, but you have a wound healing chance, so I guess if you want to replace something, it will probably be the frame or some of the other stuff. So unless you become I'm not sure because I didn't upgrade my character with cyborg parts if you lose them after you die. And this is the military grade one, which is the stuff you really want. So this is for the leg, I don't know, I'm not sure for what it is. Stealth is unavailable, but you gain 10% dodge. So that's actually great. I think this is the foot. Yeah, this is the foot manipulator. That's the manipulator. And also some of the implants. The implants are actually the ones that you love. Look at this. You eat more, but also have less shock resist, but your perks will get 80% more experience, which is kind of interesting. Also, I'm not sure if you can remove them. Anyway, I think you can remove them, but we'll have to play around with the system later and when you get a lot more stuff. Also, this will be the very, very cool stuff. Biomonitor, for example, it's if you put this is I think the chest, and then you can implant this on it. By the way, some of the implants will have special functions, for example, like a scanner, like some things that will stand and some other stuff. I'll show you a bit later, but I don't have them. Also, you have the cortex stimulator, which increases your crit chance and your crit damage, but you have such a high addiction chance that you'll not be able to use cigarettes or drinks. But it's definitely one of the better implants that I saw. Induction frame, immune to shock status and shock resistance. So yeah, if this works as I think it works, I think we'll be able to get a frame, install it on our character, and then depending on which enemy we are facing, we can just swap out the implants. Again, I'm not sure how this works, so I don't want to ruin it because it's actually very hard to get the implants. Think about it. Not only do you have to get the upgrade materials, the barter items, the faction specific items, ammo and guns, armor for your character, blah blah blah. You also have to get the implants, but you also have to get the augmented parts to put them in the first place. So it's a huge amount of items you need. I guess it's a lot more fun. So for example, you would install an armor and then you can use this. Weapon reload duration -1. I'm not sure if it can make some reloads be instant, but I'll just say it can make some reloads be instant. Ranged accuracy plus 20%, so yeah. In case you install something that reduces your accuracy, you can also do some of the implants or augmented stuff to increase it again. So if I install these two, for example, I'll have 30% more ranged accuracy. By the way, this is accuracy in general, and this is only for ranged attack, so you have to make a difference. So that's a huge update. But let me see if I can find the new weapons. This might be new. I'm not sure if this is part of the new weapons, but it's very, very strong for a pistol. Plus it has that backup gun thingy where it adds 5% crit chance, which can be amazing. I think we saw the other stuff. I'm not sure if we saw the shock submachine gun, which is horrible because remember that shock will stun you. I think this is also one of the newer ones, a poison melee weapon. And the rest we already know. Dilty is the Hexarchy. So remember, Hexarchy is the 4 strongest corporations in the game, and they'll actually evolve very, very fast to their energy weapons. So when a Hexarchy member reaches their energy weapon status, yeah, you tough luck. You're going to die very fast and very much. I'm not sure what the developers can do to protect the player against this, because the shotgun is just as good as the shotguns you got in the end game from Encom. So So I guess as long as you can lower their technology level, you'll be okay, but that's going to be super hard to do. Forward, apparently is doing very well. So this is the problem with the balance of the game currently. So for example, yeah, Dilty will get energy weapons very, very fast and they'll shock you how strong they are. 13 acids, yeah, that's why I'm trying to beat up that character, Dilty. And also each faction will have augmented soldiers. So for example, I think Daydream Chems will just experiment on their soldiers to the point where some of them will actually be experiment number what, however. And this is the big catch. Some of the enemies will have, let's say, 60 health, 90 health, 100 health. Some other enemies will have other augments or implants that will make them more agile, that will make them have 2 action points, that will increase their accuracy. So basically all of the soldiers can be very, very strong right now. What happened to my beautiful Realware? I guess they're not in a good mood. So, in my opinion, right now, SPN is almost impossible to deal with, Dilty and Ancom, because they have those stupid weapons. So be very careful, because the energy weapons cause energy wounds that heal super slow. And you need these pills, for example, or some of the other stuff. So yeah, it's not going to be fun, to be honest. This will have 2 floors. Let's do an easy mission first. And you'll see how how funny some of the factions will be. So let's do this one. Severe resistance against Daydream Chems. Because my character dies so many times, we barely have enough stuff. I also have all of the characters and all of the classes. I think we'll look at them in the next episode. But I have to say, I'm not sure if a lot of people will be able to play the new game, even though this is normal difficulty, by the way. But it can be very, very daunting at first, seeing how stupid the changes are, because again, now factions will get their one-shot weapons very, very early. And an injury will be very hard to heal. No, I forgot about this, but yeah. They haven't fixed the issue where the first levels can be huge. But at the same time, I think they have increased the amount of items you get per mission anyway, so like, at least that's a good thing. Okay. You're wondering if this is too many medical items. No, it's not. So my recommendation would be for you to finish the level and then do whatever else you like. This is the new implant, so I guess this is for the active abilities. Yeah, I think some people will not like this update because it will make them play super slow and cautious, so welcome back to 40-minute minutes. I'm not going back there. Maybe something over here. Oh, this was the defense mission, so this is one of the new defense missions where you have to defend the location. Which is annoying because... this will happen. I have no... See, this is some of the problems with this type of mission. You have nothing to defend with, because there's no defensive location. Chemical trooper. Frostbite. I don't think I have anything that will fix a frostbite injury. As you can see, it's self-healing, so if it's self-healing, you might as well use something else to patch it up. Yeah, so be prepared. So if you know the other updates, you only saw these guns super late into the game, but now you actually see them super early. And they can actually kill you. So I'm playing with Percy because he actually has a chance to resist some of their silly little attacks. But that hurt a lot, trust me. All of that armor, that still hurt a lot. By the way, if this place has a second entrance, I'm kind of done for. You know. Not sure why it's dropping FPS like crazy. I think it's...
Just begin to leave and
had that crazy weapon. Oh, that was the end of me. So yeah, as you can see, if you're fighting that particular faction, you're prepared to see a lot of their weapons, a lot of their stuff. Okay, Chemical Trooper, also, like I said, they have a lot more HP, and even if they're not augmented or implanted with something, they are definitely much tougher. Oh, he has a fighter backpack. Okay. I guess I should use that with normal splint. They also have much more resistance because of the equipment they have. Shock poison, yeah, okay, let's use that. So I really recommend a lot of caution. So try to get some better armor. Because this update is no joke, you will feel the pressure and the pain. Piercing cut, I think I'll just stick with what I have. Also, you have a lot more repair kits, and some of the repair kits will be needed for upgrades, for ship upgrades, so yeah, be prepared for this as well. Okay, I already had one stack of that, I guess we can put it like this. Let me keep that, and I also will want to keep the shotgun ammo. Test subject, okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Daydream test subject. 75 health. Because he has a quasimorphic shoulder, quasimorphic arm. And yeah, you can cut them up to get their body parts like that, but I'm not right. So this is a shoulder laceration. Chance of recovery will be 40%. That's fine by me. Look at that, that's one of their implants as well. Sure, we'll have to, and this is the funny part, you'll just have to look at all of them and select the body parts and the implants you'll want to use. I think these guys have an especially big chance to get one character with an implant. Because of their nature, of course, being test subjects and all. That's a proper helmet. So let me look at this. So yeah, now elemental damage is more common. Shock, poison. I guess shock I need, poison and cold. Yeah, I'll have to wear the helmet another time because blunt and pierce, trust me, you'll not have problems with those things. Oh, Aramid pants. Yeah, these guys have so much better loot than what you'd expect. I mean, blunt, pierce and cut and cold and beam. But again, this is not even close to what you would need normally, so be very careful. Let's use the plastic. By the way, enemies will still be coming. We have to get a warning or something. that tells us we can move. I guess we can get a few implants this way. You have a chance to get them. I don't think it's always the case. New one. So I guess again, this is the big one of the big guys, the test subjects. What if I use this? One of the diggers. Wow, they're actually super tanky right now.
Take him down.
Okay, I guess after a while the missions become like this. Nah, it's a joke. See, that will never heal. For example, if you use the plastic, a 5% chance to heal, which means never, ever. These are scary. So this is basically a demon charging at you, let's be honest. Okay. Like I said, you just get a big warning when you're done. Don't worry about it, you'll definitely see it. I guess it doesn't work. Even though technically it has a chainsaw. So from 25 HP, some of them will go to over 100, which is a bit scary. The chemical guys don't have an implant. Where was that implant? Oh yeah, over here. Advisor. Got the heart. Keep it. I guess you have to look for robots or for advisors or some higher ranked stuff. The subject. I guess if it's QuasiMorphic, you cannot get anything out of it. Yeah, so like I said, that will never heal. I need to use a bandage. As you can see, this is 80%, but it's still not 100%, so be very careful. Did I check this crate? I did. What happened here? Why is that door destroyed? Still a bit janky, okay? Oh boy, this will be so annoying. I guess I should have brought more food with me. Robot parts. I think the robot part crates will also have a lot of implants. Really? Yeah, I'm not a fan of these missions because sometimes you just don't have a place to sit and defend. I'm not going to go and open the door. Buffalo backpack? Why do they have that? Oh, so some of this stuff will heal you, so definitely use the stuff. Yeah, it's so weird not knowing what they have, because they can be basically anything. So most of them will have one action point, but some of them will have two. Also, another problem is that if you leave them alone for too long, guess what? They'll bloat, and when they bloat, their bodies will be destroyed. So that means you lose some possible implants.
Thinking.
The freezing thingy. What's my freeze resistance? Oh. I'm out, okay, that's bad. But I actually have to put them over there. Now, if I defended from over here, yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of very, very bad encounters, and that's why I defending only from the front.
Just begin to leave, and again, battles are everywhere.
Yeah, this is kind of annoying because they're just waiting. Also be prepared to see a lot more body bloats like that. I guess I can show you this a little better. Yeah, but I don't like it because this means the enemies will just spawn out of nowhere and chase you to the location. Yeah, and most of the time you'll just get injured because you are bored of waiting. Okay, so let's see the test subject controller. I guess that's a robotic body part. Yeah, let's just kind of explore the possibility. So I think this is just a normal one because it doesn't seem to have anything particularly special. But I shouldn't have done that because now I wasted most of the durability. I think we'll need some food. We'll probably need some food. Not much on them. Oh, I guess that's better than what I was about to do. So as you can see, this guy has a sensor, which is another robotic part, but it's the basic one. You don't want the basic ones. Test subject. Yeah, some QuasiMorphic stuff. Okay, let's see the body parts that we have acquired over here. I guess we'll need to make some food for later. Trust me, you'll need a lot of these. Also, the eyes cannot be replaced, so I'm not sure what you can do with them. There's also something called the giant hand. 47, 57. I guess I should replace it and leave them over here alone. Okay, but where is all the ammo? Yeah, some good stuff. I can also take a shotgun. It's one of the highest damage shotguns in the game, but I guess the range is the thing that kind of destroys it for me. Oh, thank you, game. That's very generous of you, hitting me when I need it. But this advisor doesn't have anything. No implant. Okay, and this is the fun stuff. Nothing interesting. I don't know, maybe some people not like it, but you don't have to do this for every enemy you encounter because you know which ones are the strong ones. You don't need that. You can use that. And let's see over here. I guess we don't need that anymore since we need a shotgun. Let's disassemble that as well. I guess the problem... Wait a minute, who had the buffalo? I distinctly remember one of them. Oh no, did I disassemble the buffalo? Tell me I didn't disassemble the buffalo, and someone will probably tell me I disassembled the buffalo. Oh man, why me? I guess I disassembled it without looking. Sorry about that. Oh no, it's over here. Phew, usually it jumps in my eyes like crazy, so I was surprised I didn't see it anymore. I think we have enough resistance against normal weapons. Now we just need the poison and the cold and the beam. Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible to balance out a single build, so that means you'll need to use multiple builds. Also try to take the weapon springs and some of the other stuff. This will take some armor plates as well to make them for later, and also need that for food. Yeah, you need so much stuff right now in the game. I take the extra pair of pants. Probably not worth it. That was a lot of looting for nothing. Also, some of the injuries will count for 2 injuries, so this is the part of the game that gets really annoying. So as you can see, you have a body laceration, but here you have a scratch and the thigh laceration. The scratch is self-healing, but the thigh laceration is not. And this is where the game gets confusing, I guess. Delicious steaks. So yeah, these will never heal unless you use the... Oh, that's a lot of... Okay. Oh, that other one is all the way over there. Sure. Call the capsule. Okay, that's how the capsule looks, I forgot. Let's put that over there, just in case. Also, over here, yeah, you need a lot of inventory space. Oh, I cannot believe I got the buffalo so early, and... I see, whenever I'm recording, my game tends to go a little better than when I'm not recording. I also want to break from fighting Dilty. I think that's what we have to do, just look over there. Because fighting Dilty was a huge problem for me, because their energy weapons were just destroying me at some point. Chemical Chopper is dead. Of course he's dead. I think it's just better to follow the normal route and not get crazy. I guess oh, okay. I want to look in the toolbox first. Again, there's no cover over here, and there's not much I can do. Now, keep in mind that the enemies will actually beeline for the cargo of goods, and they will get destroyed super fast, so... Here is the only option for me. Not very exciting, I have to say. Speed toxic shotgun. Oh boy, here we go. Poison resist is pretty high, so let's just move out of the toxic sludge. How? What? I cannot even begin to understand what this does. Apparently we are so poisoned that we dropped 4. Boy, this is so bad. Oh yeah, great. They forced me to step on the poison sludge again. And I have no healing item, just great. I need a healing item. They didn't drop any healing items. I should have taken some healing items with me. Oh boy, I hate this game sometimes so much. So as you saw, they just went straight for the cargo of goods, so that means you have to basically body block them. There's nothing. There's literally nothing I can use. And again, it's not very clear if I have to move or sit still. Poisoning, I don't think this will help me. No, it does help me. You have to read very careful what medicine will help you. And think about it, this is just the beginning of the game. Later you'll have much stronger enemies with much better guns. Basically unbeatable combos, like the shock combo, which will shock you and kill you. Oh, the king combined that. By the way, it's also very important to have silenced guns in this version of the game, because guess what? They are really good. Also, this stupid thing has the painful crease. What is that? Well, 300% extra damage. So if you get blasted with a 3 burst or even a 6 bullet burst, let's just do a little bit of math. So 6, 120 damage. Yeah, you're dead. If you get critted by one of these things, you're just dead. And I hate it so much because there's no defense against that. I mean, you could say the defense is not get shot, but how do you not get shot in a game like this? So basically, later in the game, what I'll be forced to do is just destroy all of the walls. Look at that, 89% poison resist. So, yeah, you have to be super careful and read a lot more about the game itself and the enemies you're facing. Usually the test subjects don't have any ranged weapons, but I think that will change later. They do have a lot of health though. Sadly, they don't count as corpses when you search them. Okay. I guess I was going to make a very big mistake. Good thing I noticed that one. No effect, so As you can see, the satiety needed to heal is almost 100%. Not 100%, but you get the idea. This is how hard the game is on normal difficulty, with you basically knowing how to play the game. Imagine if you... Let's not imagine anything, so we will not need the stakes. They also spoil, so... Not that good because they spoil, so I have to remember to get a better weapon. I guess I'll take the long blades with me. Did I destroy? Yeah, by accident. I don't worry, we'll find another bladed weapon. Mostly it's their arm and shoulder which are upgraded, I guess. This advisor doesn't have anything good in its body. Cyber leg, again, this is just the basic parts. I don't think I want them, but... By the way, this says robots. If you're wondering why all of the robot items have healing fractures and stuff, that's because if you use a cyborg leg, you will have to heal it with a pipe or something that has healing on it. So I guess you'll do this at your own peril. You take one of them and keep him. But this subject has nothing important. Oh, upper actuator. So some of them are upgraded with robot parts, some of them are upgraded with QuasiMorphic body parts. Digger. Well, I guess I want to take them if it's just for the sake of, you know, having them, showcase them a bit later. Okay, let's look at the big body pile. Look at this, the toxic shotgun. What madman envisioned this as a weapon? Can you imagine how annoying this is? Because you'll just get... Okay, so let's go over the things. So you might get crited, which is the first thing you get, which is 40 damage times... what is the damage one? Yeah, so you can get 40... I don't know, let's say 70 damage hit. You'll get injured, and you also get that adding effect of poison to your character. Ooh. I want this gun as well because it's super cool in some missions where you have to have stealth. I'm looking to see if there will be some giant arms in the pile. Not much else is in the pile. A lot of hearts and skin. Disgusting, what can I say? Chemical trooper, I guess the troopers will have nothing good on them. Daydream advisor, so yeah, look at the advisor. The advisors will have the best loot and the... Wait, what? The advisors will have some of the best loot and some of the best items, plus some of the best implants and augments. Also, there'll be some of the more dangerous ones, just because they have guns and not much else going for them. Do I need water all the time? I think I'll need water all the time, so I'll try to keep that as well. I'll try to keep that, yeah. It's very tempting. Also, I need the better helmet. I think I want to keep the springs as well for later. Plastic, probably not needed. Let's take 2 more toxic shotguns. By the way, this is where you keep the poison underneath the shotgun. That's kind of cool. That's a surgeon and that's a pharmacist. I guess the pharmacist is better. Okay, so even the chemical troopers can have some implants. I guess they're very hard to take though. I think I failed 2 out of 2 so far. Let's not forget the data dump. Do I want to search more? Nope. I want to get out of here as soon as possible. Yeah, so that's basically the big update and how it works with all of the little details. Oh boy, and it will be a mess trying to play this game because I'll have to slow down my game a lot. Oh, look at that, I am still getting nails as a reward. For you a job. Turning the curve. Meh. They have to mark those missions a lot better. So let's look at the technology. Yes, I think I forgot what faction I was fighting. Daydream Games. I don't know why that guy had a buffalo. I don't think they have it normally. I guess I got very lucky. Okay, let's wait for Percy to heal. I want to look at his class. How many enemies? So 70 enemies killed on such an easy mission, and imagine on a max difficulty mission. I think on a max difficulty mission with 4 floors, you'll have to kill upwards of 300 enemies or I don't know, something crazy like that. And you'll never have enough ammo to do that unless you turn yourself into a killer cyborg. So I guess it's worth it to play with some other characters, especially the dodge character. Because it's almost impossible to not get hit right now, so other weapons, I don't know, I guess most of the classes and the other stuff is viable. I'll have to look at them and prepare them for the next video. I think this is all the stuff, so free. Yeah, I think 9 classes are the max we got. We'll look in the next video at the classes and some of the other stuff. Okay, see you next time. Actually, before we do that, I want to... look at the cyborg stuff, so yeah. This will fill up very, very fast over here. Let me see. So I guess these are the ones I have, plus the weapon repair kit that is not here. Yeah, I guess we can put 2 of them over there and 1 of them. Yeah. The rare weapons will also be kind of a treasure from now on, because you'll have to use them against certain factions. If a faction has no resistance to poison, you might as well use the poison shotgun, but from what I remember, Percy's passive is not working properly, and that means, I mean the Tanorat, it only works if you have shotgun ammo. It doesn't work if your shotgun does chemical damage, which I think is a mistake, because a shotgun is a shotgun, is not something else, so it should work. So, without playing, I don't know, without playing a Tanorat, I don't see any other way of actually surviving and getting enough items in the game to see all of the cool effects and stuff. Bye bye.